everyone, welcome back to Green Talks. I'm Patricia, your host today, and today we're going to talk about something that reflects our environment, from trashes and garbages to the cleanliness of rivers and the floods that happen every year. These issues have affected us more than we realize. So for this topic, we have two amazing guest speakers, which are environmental activists, King and Oliver. Welcome in, guys.
Hello everyone, always glad to talk about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, thanks for having us. And I'm really glad that I can talk about these concerns because I've seen a lot of people not care about our environment, but it actually connects everything around us.
Exactly. Let's start with something that's happened yearly, shall we? So, you know that Indonesia every year has extreme rainy seasons, right? And it causes extreme floods around the country.
Yes, this is actually one of the biggest concerns because even the National Disaster Agency has recorded over 2,000 disasters in just a year. And half of them were actually floods, which means that 1,100 floods happened in just 1 year alone. This actually caused a lot of problems as well, like 6 million people that have been injured and also around 60,000 houses that were destroyed.
The thing is, floods aren't only caused by heavy rain. They are also caused because water cannot flow properly. In our drainage systems, there are mostly trash, especially plastic, and this is where reactions quietly come in. Plastics have chemicals such as phthalates and BPA, which can lower the water's pH and make the water even more acidic.
That's a great point. It's like a chain reaction where one thing leads to another and it causes a series of events, right? So the polluted water, it harms not only the fish in the sea, but it also harms the plants, which the polluted water seeps into the soil and affects the quality and also the other water.
Yes, exactly. Totally agree with this. And even the Environment Ministry has found out that 70% of our river or water has already moderately been polluted. And only 29% of it is already reaching the clean water standards. So we have to realize that actually most of our rivers have already been polluted and not just a few.
And if we want to talk about big sources of pollution, a big one is plastic. In Indonesia, they produce around 34 million tons of plastic, and 20% of them, which is over 6 million tons, is plastic. And a lot of them end up being burnt or dumped in rivers.
But I heard that there's progress, right? I read that a few years back in 2018, the plastic waste in the ocean, it reduced by 40%. And recently, in 2023, the plastic waste in the oceans too, it went from 600,000 tons to around 300,000 tons. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, that's definitely some good progress there. But even with that, there are still hundreds of thousands of tons of garbage that are let out to the ocean every single year. And this will eventually react with other substances like sunlight and also sun water, which breaks into smaller pieces and reacts with chemicals of heavy metals, which eventually will be eaten by fish, and we will eventually also eat the fish, right? So that's not good for us and for the whole sea environment.
And burning the trash doesn't help either. When people burn waste, especially plastic, it can release tons of toxic chemicals like carbon monoxide, dioxins, and sometimes even some acids like hydrochloric acid. These substances don't only pollute the air, but they also can cause acid rain, which can damage soil and even our plants.
So the more we pollute, the more nature reacts to our bad actions and give us bad impacts too. So it's not only just a matter of science, but it's also the matter of how we treat the environment. In the past, we used to care so much of our environment and work together to protect it because we used to have a sense of obligation to protect its nature and its beauty.
Yes, there's a fun fact about the past where all of the people used to actually really care about the environment. They planted trees, managed water correctly, and they even started communities to clean up after disasters. This is a really good way to help our environment, and it's also a way of mentioning that our actions actually have a really big impact towards these concerns.
We kind of lost this, didn't we? Nowadays, people just wait for someone else to take action. But the truth is, we need to bring back everyone's spirit. We need to bring back the feeling of working together, as our environment is still our responsibility.
Exactly. And it's not about waiting for a hero to save the day and save us all from this mess. And it's also not about one leading another, but it's about everyone to have the initiative to take action and make a difference. We all can start small, like avoid using plastic products like plastic bottles and plastic bags and avoid burning garbage. Despite being small, but those actions can really give a big impact to our environment, our people, and even the entire Earth.
Yes, that's actually a really good way to put it. As small steps, the small steps you take, it will create even bigger change. If everyone contributes just a little, it will make a big impact towards the environment and will help towards these disasters. As I said before, our actions really impact on how the environment will be going on in the future matter.
And the thing is that younger people nowadays, they actually have a bigger role. We have social media, information, and platforms that can reach thousands. Imagine if they use that to spread awareness about clean living or even simple waste management to the internet. Imagine if we use social media for good cause instead of destroying other people's wants to protect the environment. That's how it used to be.
Yes, I totally agree with you. I've even seen some communities that start up cleanup projects that ask students to create projects out of eco bricks that are made out of plastic. They are asked to make some things like benches and also garden paths, which really increases their creativity and also helps the environment at the same time, which benefits both our earth and also the students.
That's a really awesome way to put it. It really shows that young people don't need to wait until they become a fully grown adult or become mature. It shows that they can make a difference in the environment since they were young. We as students can create those changes by joining and participating in school events like volunteering or school campaigns and projects that are related to the environment. This can set up a good example to our environment, to the people around us like our friends and our families, because they're influenced by the good impacts of our actions, and it would encourage them to join in our actions so that we can contribute well to the environment.
Exactly, this is my point. It's about respect for nature, for people, for the place that we all live in. And we have to start to realize that the place we all live in, our earth, is something that we have to make a safe place for. And not something that we have to be scared of because of all the disasters and concerns that have been going around right now. We have to make a change, and our actions really depend on us to make this specific change to make a better place for us.
And honestly, if we treat the earth correctly like this, it'll treat us right back clean air, safe water, healthy food. All of this depend on how we solve all the problems happening around us. Imagine all of this will happen due to our small actions and steps. A healthier life will be provided, the earth will even be more clean, and other very good benefits.
Yes, even just one or two people creating an event or starting a way for people to help clean the environment, it will make a very, very big impact and eventually make the environment a safe place for us.
So my best wishes is that I hope people start to realize that the earth won't be forever strong if we keep trashing it like this. And also the dangers of plastic pollution and what they can give to the environment, to the animals, and to ourselves. Therefore, we could keep protecting the earth, our environment, and our lives.
That is very well said. Thank you so much, Oliver and King, for joining today's talk.
Yes, that's no problem at all. I'm very glad that we can talk about this. Thank you, Tia.
Yeah, you're welcome. And so, for everyone listening to this, please remember that every change, whether big or small, matters. Every change starts small, then progresses step by step through a slow process. Despite its slow process, all of them matters. So, keep your rivers clean, make your surroundings healthy, and please make all your actions worthy. That is all for our podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Let's all become a supporting community for our surroundings, and let's aim for a better future. My name is Patricia, and this is from Green Talks. Thank you.
Bye.